Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 PSN review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Tales from Space About a Blob, which if you've never played it before, it's basically a kind of a platformer. It's a bit like a Katamari Damacy game, I think that's what they're called. I'll be honest, I've only ever really played one, and I think that was called Touch My Katamari on the iPod. So I'm not too keen, I mean to say not too sure on the name, but basically you eat stuff, you get bigger, and that's how you progress through the levels. Anyway, at the start you've got story mode, you've got extra levels, you've got cinematics which you can view them at any point, you've got your, well, once you've obviously got them, you've got your options where pretty much you can set your music, sound, vibration and screen size, and that's it. Leaderboards are leaderboards, PlayStation stores to get the DLC, but I've got the DLC and everything on here, so this is all together. Basically though, if memory serves, because I bought this a long time ago, meant to review it ages ago, didn't, so now I'm struggling to remember what you get in the DLC, but I will put an annotation up to confirm. I believe though it's just a costume editor. You might get the extra levels here as well, but again I'll confirm that in an annotation which will appear now. There we go. Right then. Extra levels, when you go into it, it's basically co-op level 1 and co-op level 2. That makes it sound like the game can only be played in co-op on 2 levels. However, when you go into the main game here, you can, as you can see, press start with player 2. The full game can be played co-op. So, don't know why they decided to put them as separate, unless it is because of the DLC. The annotation will have confirmed that. Either way though, because this is not just a platformer, it's a puzzle game, I've stuck to an early file because I don't want to ruin any puzzles, because the game isn't the longest. It's only got 17 levels, and it'll take, I don't know, a couple playthroughs to get them, and it's one of those, it purely depends on what you want out of the game, on how much time you'll get out of it, because if you want to go for all the platinums, then it's going to take quite some time, because you've pretty much got to be perfect in order to get a platinum on a level. If you just want to go for the silvers or the golds or anything, it's not going to take as much time, and in order to get them, the whole point is to get a good high score, so you've got to be speedy, you've got to save all of your friends in the level. As you can see in the bottom right corner it says I've saved 3 of 3, it's because I've beat this level before. You've got to collect those grey dots, which are blue until you collect them once. Once you've collected them, it tells you which ones on the level you've never collected before. And this is what I mean by kind of like a puzzle game, because this isn't exactly the world's most taxing puzzle, but what I have to do is find a way up there, and then when the run button actually decides to run and jump, and then I could get those grey dots. But I also can't get up there, so what I'd have to do is get the paint tin, and there we go, I've got up there. And that's just, as I say, one of the kind of basic type puzzles on the game. There's a hell of a lot more and a lot more advanced ones, and they mainly centre around, well, not just mainly, but they do involve the powers that you can do. For example, you can fire things out as pretty much standard. You can also then get a magnetism power, which obviously allows you to attract and repel. You can get an electric power, which basically means you can absorb electricity and then fire the electricity out, and that's just basically to activate switches and stuff. But it's pretty much the same as all great platformers really. There's no real need for a huge amount of powers. It's kind of like the original Mario, you get enough to break up the mundane and to be able to enjoy the gameplay. And as I say, that it's pretty much the entire game is this for the 17 levels: solving puzzles, getting bigger, eating stuff, trying to collect all the dots, trying to get good scores, trying to do this, that and the other, searching around for the secrets, which will lead you to more dots or will lead you to more friends to save to get the better scores, etc. It's just that sort of game. I personally love it. I know it's not everyone's type of game, but as I say, I personally love it. It's good fun in co-op, but it's not the type of game where you have to play it co-op. You can enjoy it single player. At least I find myself enjoying it single player. Sometimes another player gets in the way as much as he helps. But there's pretty much nothing else I can really say other than the fact that you might have noticed my blob is dressed up and is insane. This is the costume thing from the DLC, so I can choose different patterns. So I'll choose this stripy one here. I can choose different bumps, so I can go for suction cups there. I can choose different sunglasses, so I'll go for blue Kanye West style glasses. Rather than promoting smoking, I'll promote red-nosed deer. I can, if I want to, buy a hat, because I've collected 210 blue things and that'll cost us 180, so I could buy a baseball cap or something, or I could just use ones I've already got, so I'll make him a policeman who supports red-nosed deer. I can choose different ears, so I'll give him electrode things or Tesla coils. So there we go, and that's my new Blob. And as stupid as it sounds, because it's only something little, it does actually add a hell of a lot of personality to the game, and being able to do it, it's so much better than just constantly looking at the same orange blob over and over. Only other things I can see as controls about the game, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because I've already got the Vita version of the game, and they've improved upon the game in pretty much every way. I'll mention those when I actually do the review, and hopefully both will be up. But basically, running is a button on this one. Suction and like sucking things up is a button on this one, so pretty much the entire time you're going to be holding the run button and the suction button, because you're pretty much going to always want to be doing both. You can slam down by pushing a button, you can aim with the right analog and then fire out with the R2 button and that. And control wise, the game does actually work really well, but obviously, as you might have noticed, as I'm firing things out, well, to be fair, it looks like I'm getting smaller, but my size meter isn't actually going down. Although it's just gone up there. Yeah, now it's definitely going down. It must have been that I was firing too many small things that weren't making an overall great difference to the meter. So I was on 9.56, now I'm on 9.35. So when you fire things, you're going to have to be careful, because obviously you don't want to go below your target size and ruin yourself. It's not a game where you can't die or anything, and you might have noticed I'm avoiding these. I've got a health bar in the top left corner, but those will outright crush me. Things like fire will just damage me a bit, and it's just, as I say, just a cool little platformer. It's not the best platformer in the world, but it's one of the best platformers to come out in a long time, because platformers don't really come out these days. I really enjoyed it. I hoped for a sequel. I then got the sequel on the Vita, and can't believe how much of an improvement it is, and hope we do get a third game, because it's also, as you might have noticed from how daft some of the things are that I'm having to pick up, it's not a game that takes itself seriously. It is completely zany. So I was actually sucking up organs there from a cadaver, and that's because I'm currently in a medical lab. So obviously cadavers just tend to be lying around medical labs according to this game. Don't get me wrong, I know in medical labs there are such things as cadavers that have to operate on dead bodies to practice, but I wouldn't really think they'd be just lying around for any random alien blob to access. But that really is all I can say about the game without warbling more, rambling more, repeating myself. It's definitely worth a look into if you like the genre, because I think it's excellent. And as I say, if you're going for the Platinum Awards and that, then it will take you a long time to get everything, so give it a go. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid, or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe, because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.